Hi, I'm Symphoneers, and today we're taking a look at how to build Dynamo, one of Deadlock's premier support characters. He has an area heal as a primary ability, and his ultimate, Singularity, can be absolutely critical in teamfights. Although, unlike many other games, support characters in Deadlock are often going to be expected to hold their own in fights, whether that's during solo laning or dispensing crowd control and damage while their heals are on cooldown in the mid to late game. This gives Dynamo some interesting build flexibility. Let's start off looking at his weapon options. Dynamo has remarkably good attack scaling. This is thanks almost entirely to the free reload and massive attack speed boost on Quantum Entanglement. Dynamo did receive a nerf to his base gun damage in a recent patch, so it's maybe a little trickier to pull off a hard-to-carry gun-focused build, but he does benefit a lot from cheap pickups with good late-game upgrades like Basic Magazine, Close Quarters, and High Velocity Mag, so investing in at least a little early damage tends to be quite solid. Damage-focused late-game pickups like Pristine Emblem or Intensifying Magazine can be decent, although other items may layer better with the rest of your build. If you're leaning towards supporting, slowing bullets or crippling headshots can be very helpful for letting you or your team confirm kills. Items with ability power scaling can be good if you've been building Spirit, as they'll be even more powerful. Mystic Shot is the cheapest pickup, and toxic bullets are worth considering if the enemy has an Abrams. Let's move on to Dynamo's vitality options. Dynamo can use generic mid-game defensive options like Spirit or Bullet Armor, or maybe a reactive barrier versus enemy teams with a Bebop or Talon. Most Dynamos will want to pick up a little bit of extra mobility as one of their later starting items, as it's very helpful for getting into position to use Dynamo's kit properly. Both sprint boots and extra stamina work for this. I prefer sprint boots personally because the point of health regen can be helpful for sustaining through the laning phase without having to buy an item like Restorative Shot, and the upgraded version is cheaper. If you really want to live the support lifestyle, Dynamo can pick up a number of items that can grant additional healing skills. I would not recommend doing this unless you're queuing with friends or otherwise confident in your team, as it will limit your ability to win combats. Healing Right is the cheapest one, and it can be a powerful source of additional sustain for a dual lane. Dynamo taking damage will cancel the heal though, so be careful when you use it. It's not for mid-combat healing. Active items like Healing Right are affected by cooldown reductions, so improved cooldown should be a priority if you're building support. Healing Booster is also a good pickup because it not only improves the heals Dynamo gives others, but will improve Dynamo's self-healing from his skills or additional sources of sustain like Leech. Inhibitor is also a great luxury vitality item for Dynamo. It gets you damage, health, and an incredible debuff that's helpful for both dueling and team fights. Last but definitely not least, Spirit. Extra Charge and Mystic Burst are often considered crucial on Dynamo, as they empower Kinetic Pulse, which is his best way, aside from shooting of course, to harass enemies during the laning phase. They are good, but sometimes it can be difficult to harass with Kinetic Pulse, like into a Talon or something, and that may be a good time to lean towards a weapon build. Also, don't sleep on Extra Spirit. Aside from the handy point of regen it has, Kinetic Pulse's range does scale with Spirit power, so it makes longer range Kinetic Pulses easier to hit, scales their damage, and also improves Rejuvenating Aura's heal. Aside from that stuff, Dynamo can use all the generic Spirit items like Mystic Reach, improved cooldown, and Duration Extender reasonably well. Bullet Resist Shredder and Suppressor are both definitely worth a shout out. They're useful mid-game supportive items, but they can also help with dueling single enemies. If you want a defensive Spirit option, Torment Pulse can be alright and speeds up wave clear. It also fires during Singularity, so it's weirdly one of the more efficient ways to scale his ultimate's effective damage. For expensive Spirit pickups, it's definitely worth shouting out Refresher, as this can let you effectively chain two ultimates together. In summary, one of Dynamo's strengths as a character is how flexible his itemization is. He benefits a lot from cheap items in every category, and you can easily push his build in a specific direction depending on either personal preference or how the game's playing out. His healing and crowd control often play a big role in dictating the flow of combat, so he's a great character to pick up if you want reliably impactful decision making in Deadlock. Lastly, this video is a bit of an experiment for me. I really ended up not being happy with my Abrams guide being a 70 minutes ramble, so this is my attempt to make something more tightly scripted and edited. Let me know if you liked it and want more of these. Thanks.